Well, hey everybody, I'm Leon Thomas with Miranda Kittle and Lynch. Welcome to Checking In. Miranda, how are you?
I'm great. How are you? I'm happy to be back here in the studio checking in with you.
Yes, we are back in the
Yay.
studio. We took a little break, but we're back. The break is over, and we are back live and in concert, ready to have a groovy time talking about a lot of hospitality and other related things. So tell me, let's see. I like had some questions I wanted to ask you, and I'm like, do I ask these via text message? Do I ask on the show? So I'm thinking we'll just flow around and go. You get to ask me something too, though, right? You get to
Okay.
ask me something too. All right.
All right.
So, what is the coolest thing that's happened? You, your family, anyone in 2025? The best thing, the coolest thing that's happened.
Okay. So I'm going to go with taking my daughters to their first Mardi Gras parade. And I know when I say that, people are going to think automatically New Orleans crazy. No, we went to a very family friendly Mardi Gras parade. My daughters were so excited. It's the first time they've ever been to one, which is wild since their mother's originally from Louisiana. And they just had the best time. And it was so cool to watch them experience that.
Nice, nice. All right, that's cool. Nice,
All right, your
nice.
turn. Best thing for 2025.
The best thing for 2025. The best thing. All right, here we go. The best thing is really not even about me at all. The best thing in 2025 is my friend Dr. Michael Zollicoffer, who has been doing free healthcare in Baltimore for over 40 years, was featured on the CBS Evening News on Friday the 7th, and then on Sunday, March 9th, on the CBS Sunday Morning News. They ran a feature about him and the work that he does in Baltimore. So that was really cool.
But
Yeah.
there's more to that because you were giving me a pretty awesome update on his donations.
Yes, yes. He had cancer and he didn't have money to pay for his treatments. His insurance got all messed up. It's just a series of snafus is what happened. So the community pitched in and said we're going to pay for him to have his treatments, and is up to, I just checked it, 200,507 dollars have been
Amazing.
raised in support of Dr. Michael Zollicoffer, and
Amazing.
and he's going to take whatever money is not needed for his treatment and invest it in the community. So some great
Amazing.
things happening there. Yeah.
This is just one example of people putting good into the world and getting good back.
That's right. That's right. It happens. Yeah. Now, when I asked something good that was going to happen, I'm glad to hear you said it was with your children, right? But I also thought there would be like a 1B, and
Oh,
I didn't know if that was you had bean pie. I didn't know if that was you had played racquetball. I didn't know. I didn't know. You know.
I know that you have some exciting racquetball news to share. Do you want to share it now or later?
We won't even talk about it. I mean, we'll talk later. We'll talk later about it. We'll talk later. But I mean, I was expecting bean pie, but that's okay. Hey, listen, folks, if you'd
Maybe,
like to be, go ahead, go ahead.
oh, I was going to say maybe our guest today knows what you're talking about.
Yes, maybe she's aware of bean pie. Maybe she's had it. Maybe she knows how to make it.
Ooh.
Yes, maybe she will believe that it's an actual thing. Like some
Fake
people don't
news.
believe it's real. It's fake news. Folks, we have a good time here on Checking In. We'd like you to be a guest. If you want to be a guest on the show, you can contact me. You can send me an email to Leon at the Leon Thomas Group. That's Leon at the leonthomasgroup.com. You can send me an email there. And if you want to get in touch with Miranda, she's real simple to find, real easy to find. If you go to Google and just Google her name, Miranda Kittle Lynch, she's the only one. Oh, do I have the right one? Yes, you do. You do. So there we go. So we want to have you in on our show. Miranda, tell us about our guest. Who do we have today as our guest?
Well, why don't we bring her right in so that she can tell us who she is and what she does?
Right on. Here we go. Hello.
Hi. Thank you.
Hello.
Thank you so much for being here. Please share with our listeners, who are you and what do you do? And then we'll talk about what makes you so fabulous.
Well, thank you. So first of all, thank you for having me on the show. I'm so excited to be here. My name is Nina Kleaveland, and I am the founder of Lanyard, which is a corporate housing solutions company in the hospitality space. And I am also the founder of Female Founders in Hospitality, which is a community of women who are building companies in the travel and hospitality industry that will forever change the landscape of the industry.
Amazing. And how did that come about? How did that initiative come to you? How did you make that happen?
Okay, so we're diving right in. I love it. So back in 2022, I founded my company, Lanyard. We had pivoted a couple of times. And along that journey of founding Lanyard, I had joined a lot of different forums. Some for women, some for founders, some for the hospitality industry, all looking for my people, my tribe, support on this journey, knowing that people had done it before. I wasn't the first. And nothing kind of met that need at the cross section of female founder and hospitality. And so I decided to start something. And there were 14 of us on a call back then, representing all different aspects of the industry, from a media platform to marketing services to a podcast to real estate, travel tech. And we came together on a call, and there was something incredible about that first group. It was women understanding the challenges and opportunities of being a founder, talking about some of the same obstacles and hurdles they've faced along their journey, supporting each other and cheering each other on in just a short amount of time. And so we continue to meet monthly. And that original 14 members has now turned into close to 200. And it is not just 14 female founders on a call. It is very much a movement across the industry. And I'm so inspired and motivated by being part of this community and having the privilege of leading it.
That's incredible. Absolutely incredible. Leon?
So tell us about your background. You telling us, some of what you're doing now. How did you get into this whole thing? A lot of folks that are in hospitality, they study it, and that was the plan, and they get their education in it, and this is what they do. Then there are characters like me who failed at coaching basketball and ended up working as a night auditor. And then the next thing you know, you're a manager, and ding, 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 and all of those things happen. What's your story? Fill us in on how it happened for you.
I was a biology and French major, so did not study hospitality in undergrad.
Biology and French. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I had worked, though, when I was in high school and college, I had worked at the front desk of a hotel in the town where I grew up in Pennsylvania. And funny enough, that's actually not how I ended up in hospitality. So during college, I worked for a couple of florists, high-end florists in Philadelphia. I went to the University of Pennsylvania. And I also did a lot of extracurricular activities in event planning. And so when I graduated, I wanted to go into event planning. And somebody suggested that getting a job at a hotel, working and sort of working with events would be a great way to kind of get into that industry. And so my first job out of college was working at the Westin Philadelphia. And I started not in events, I started at the front desk and human resources, checking people in and working on reservations and things like that. And at the time, I had the benefit of a female general manager who took an interest in me and really helped mentor me to figure out kind of what my path was going to be. It didn't end up being events. After about a year, I ended up going into marketing. So it was a new team forming, doing field marketing for Starwood Hotels on a regional basis. And I ended up joining that team. And that kind of set me on a totally different trajectory than I had anticipated when I started in hospitality. And I really thrived in a data-driven marketing world. From there, ended up moving to the Starwood corporate office and working in partnerships. And then once again, a mentor and coach who was my boss at the time encouraged me to go to business school. And so I spent about 2 years doing partnerships and then left to go back to business school at Wharton at the University of Pennsylvania. I did that for 2 years and then joined American Express and worked for American Express in Hong Kong for 3 years. I had lived my entire life basically in sort of a 90-mile area around Pennsylvania, Philadelphia, New York, and really wanted to have an experience living and working abroad. And so my husband and I moved over there for 3 years. And then when I came back, I was at Amex briefly and then wanted to go back into hospitality, and I joined Wyndham Hotels. And once again, had the benefit of mentors and sponsors there, started running their partnerships business, including the co-brand credit card, and then led corporate strategy for them before leaving in 2020.
Now, you said you grew up in Pennsylvania. What town in Pennsylvania?
Allentown.
Allentown. Okay. Yep. I've been there. I'm familiar with a bed and breakfast there called Glassburn.
The Glassburn,
Right.
yeah.
Yes, I actually
It's a
did
lovely
training.
restaurant.
Yes, they do. I did training for them. And you also talked about Philadelphia. I ran a hotel in Center City. I ran
Which
what was
one?
then it was then called the Hawthorne Suites, just outside of Chinatown, connected to the Pennsylvania Convention Center. Yeah, that was there. I got to work for Mr. Michael Grasso. Very nice man, very nice guy, very nice guy.
Amazing. So I want to jump back, if I may, because you were talking about how these phone calls are not just 14 people on a call anymore. It's more of a movement. What kind of conversations are you having, or what are some common themes that you're seeing?
So each of the calls now, we essentially, just to give some context, so we have cohorts now that are anywhere between 10 and 15 founders, and you meet on a monthly basis on a Zoom call. And each of the calls is hosted by one of the cohort members. They come up with a business-related topic, and everyone contributes and they facilitate a discussion. The organization overall is entirely member-led. Which means that the content is really driven by our community, and we love that. So in terms of the calls and some of the different topics, it can be anything from fundraising to your tech stack and sort of what different tools do you utilize to build your company and make the day-to-day operations easier. Some of the calls are simply wins, asks, and obstacles, and we kind of workshop challenges that any of our founders are having. I often find that those are the best calls, because when you really dive into a problem that someone's having, chances are another founder on the call has been through something similar or knows someone who has, and we come up with some great ideas that the founder may have not have thought of on their own. And so I feel like these calls, I always walk away feeling inspired, feeling excited. And even if I'm having a rough day running my own company, I really do feel like I walk away thinking, okay, other people are going through tough times too. I can do this. I can keep going. And I think that just having that supportive community and knowing that you're not alone, especially when you're sitting by yourself or with a small team in an office, it often feels isolating, but when you know that there is a whole community of people doing something similar, that really helps you keep going.
That's amazing. And you and I believe, are both members of the same alliance, and I always walk away from those calls feeling inspired too. Yes. Let me ask you, because one of the goals of the show is to talk to people, get to know what they do, what their everyday work life looks like, and more interestingly, or to me most interestingly, what keeps you up at night with regards to your facet of the industry.
So let's see. Well, we'll start with what keeps me up at night, and then we can backtrack to the other questions. So currently, what keeps me up at night is the current administration, and for multiple reasons. First of all, my first baby, Lanyard. We work with companies across the United States, helping them find corporate housing solutions for usually temporary employees. We work with industries like agriculture, construction, healthcare, hospitality, manufacturing, food production, a lot of which are hiring undocumented or immigrants from other countries who might be on visas. But the current immigration policies and going after undocumented immigrants does potentially have an impact on our day-to-day business, and we're still trying to figure out exactly what that looks like. We haven't seen the impact yet, but as you can imagine, it's something we need to future-proof against, all while supporting our employers and our customers as best as we can. So that definitely keeps me up. And then at the same time, the administration's policies around DE&I initiatives are also concerning because, over the past, 10 years with sort of increasing initiatives, diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives, we've seen some progress for women, but it has been slow. And so my fear is that even that progress is going to be diminished or just regress altogether. And so that's why I feel like female founders in hospitality as an organization is more important than ever. But at the same time, I do worry about the future of females in this country.
Leon, I'll let you take over.
All right, here's what we'll do. We'll take a quick break. You're watching Checking In. I'm Leon with our co-host, Miranda Kidron-Lynch. Our guest today is Nina Kleaveland. We're going to take a quick break. The commercials you see were all produced by students that work for and with the Leon Thomas Group. And then you'll see a special announcement about a new show that we have coming up. It's about kids and cooking. So if you know of a kid that cooks, or they should cook or want to cook, and you want to teach them to cook, or you want to see other kids cook, you want to watch this show. We'll be right back. Thanks for watching Checking In. We'll be right back.
Announcing the newest show from the Leon Thomas Group, Cooking with Kids in the Kitchen.
Each week, we're going to have kids on the show in their home kitchen, showing us their culinary expertise right here on Cooking with Kids in the Kitchen. If you know of a kid that would be great to have on Cooking with Kids in the Kitchen, contact Leon Thomas with the Leon Thomas Group.
His email address is leon@theleonthomasgroup.com.
That's leon@theleonthomasgroup.com.
Cooking with Kids in the Kitchen.
At Rod's Car Repairs, we work on all cars, old cars, new cars, and your car. Car Repairs by Rod.io.
Baked by Brianna has been your Baltimore hometown bakery since 1969. Located in Roxton Plaza, Baked by Brianna. Visit bakedbybrianna.io.
From the creative team that brought you The Browning Project and Dead by Morning comes a new thriller that will change the way you look at white-collar crime forever. Falling from the Sky.
I'm Leon Thomas with the Leon Thomas Group. Podcast, virtual events, webinars, streaming shows, and so much more. We want to be your partner in all things virtual.
Hey, welcome back to Checking In. I'm Leon with our co-host Miranda Kidman Lynch and our guest today, Nina Cleveland. One of the things we talk about some on this show, and it comes up in many topics, many conversations, is the idea of mentoring, right? And so I want to let y'all know that this weekend, so Thursday, my high school basketball coach, who I talk to maybe 2 or 3 times a year, he sent me a photo. And it's a photo of me and some of my teammates from way back when, and some of the other coaches. And he sent me their phone numbers and he said, I'm sure they'd love to hear from you. So I texted them, I called them, and they always ask, what are you doing now? What are you doing? And I sent a video from my racquetball program. Nina, do you play racquetball? By the way, do you play racquetball?
I do not.
You don't. Do you play pickleball?
I have played. I play tennis.
Okay, you can stay on the show anyway. You can stay on anyway. You can stay.
I've played racquetball. I just don't play regularly.
Okay, so you have played. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I send this video over to my high school JV coach, right? And he says, can I make some suggestions to you? Right? So he's like 82 years old, right? 82, 83. He's never played racquetball, but he's mentoring on some of the one of the ways I was coaching a kid on the serve. And I'm like, wow, I'm still getting mentored by this guy. And it worked. I did it yesterday at practice, and he was absolutely correct. So that's a long way of saying there's value in mentorship. Okay, so that's what I wanted to let y'all know. It's there. So Miranda, let's do this. You go ahead with one more question, and then we're going to come back with our signature questions of the show.
Perfect. Well, along that same line of mentorship, Nina, do you have any outlets through either of your ventures for mentoring, like through your company or through your foundation?
We don't have anything formal in our company. It's a very small, lean team, but we do give all levels of the organization access and opportunities to kind of see what happens across across different teams. And so I think it's something we can work on as we grow. At this point, everyone is sort of seeing everything and they ask questions, and it's a very open team, which I really like. Within female founders in hospitality, we don't have any formal mentor programs, but we do encourage people to, connect where needed. But not to say that isn't something we could pursue in the future.
I'm assuming that you're the type of person, though, that if one of my students, for example, or somebody early in their career was listening to this or watching this and said, oh, I really want to be involved in that, if they just reached out to you on LinkedIn, because I love informal mentoring. I've been the lucky recipient, and I'm so proud that I've been able to offer it. And I think the informal stuff can be really powerful because that's indicative of people that come together that really want to help and be helped.
Yeah, and I think that that's sort of true across female founders in hospitality, where someone who's experienced something already will help sort of informally mentor, if you will, someone who's going through a similar situation now. I make it a point to always respond to students who reach out, because I remember what I was like as a student. I didn't know that much about what was out there in terms of different opportunities and careers. And I didn't even know what questions to ask because I didn't know what I didn't know. And so anytime a student reaches out, whether I can be helpful or I can connect them to somebody else, I always make a point of making time for students.
Awesome. Leon, do you want I feel like I know what you're going to ask.
It's time for the 2 signature questions of the show. And Nina, we got some doozies here. These are some serious questions. And it's actually 3 questions, though. It's not just 2. It's actually 3. It's time for the 2 signature questions of the show. All right, Nina, I get to ask two. Miranda has one. All right. Have you ever had a Maryland crab cake?
Yes.
Yes. Ooh, okay. Yes. Yes. It was a strong yes.
Oh, an
Where
emphatic yes.
where did you have the Maryland crab cake?
In Baltimore, of course, and also along the Eastern Shore. But can I explain my love of all
Yes.
things blue crabs as well as Old Bay seasoning?
Go ahead. Please do. Bring it on.
Okay,
Bring it
thank
on.
you.
Yes.
I think as early as maybe 6 years old, when I had to do the what is your favorite food question, my answer was crab because of Maryland blue crabs. And so I have had a very long love of crab, hard shell crabs, where you could, you pick them yourself, and also crab cakes. And I am very discerning when it comes to crab cakes.
Oh yeah, you could have gone on and on. You run single shot. You love
regular,
crab.
but
You can go on.
we could do a
Yes.
podcast just on crabs.
Just on that. Yes. Yes. Right on. So
That's
that's
funny.
great.
If you ask my 6-year-old what her favorite food is, she says salad. And I'm just like, what 6-year-old loves salad? Just like what 5-year-old, 6-year-old loves crab. It's just so like, I don't know, surprising, but fun.
Right? Yeah.
I think it might just because it's a vehicle for the Old Bay seasoning, and Old Bay is great on everything from French fries to crab.
And in our house, salad is a vehicle for ranch dressing.
There you go.
There you go. There you go. Now we've got it figured out. All right, here we go. Question number two. Question number two. You passed the first question, by the way. You passed.
Oh, great. Okay.
You,
I
you
didn't
did
realize
not,
it was a test,
you
but I'm
didn't
so
have your
glad.
Maryland crab cake in Kansas City. Okay, so you win. All right. Now, how about bean pie? Have you ever had a bean pie?
No.
Because it's not real. It's not a real thing.
You're going
We
to have to
had.
explain.
You've never had bean pie? Seriously? Really? Oh, have you ever heard of bean pie?
No.
Oh, it is the happening thing. In fact, in many communities, many cities, there are members of the Nation of Islam that sell bean pie at traffic lights on the street.
Wow.
Yes. Yes. And in where I live, you can buy it at Safeway.
Interesting. What is
Yes.
in it?
Beans.
What kind?
And what did we on the one we actually showed an ingredient label on one of the shows.
I'm trying to remember.
And I think was it navy beans? I can't recall what type of bean, but it was there. I'll find it and email it to you because this is very important stuff you need to know just so that you can contact Miranda and say it is real. Bean pie is real. She doesn't think it's real.
It sounds like kind of a savory, like almost like a chicken pot pie. Is that?
It's
Or is it mashed beans? I got to do more
Yeah,
research. Now I'm curious.
oh, good. Now we have engaged you to want to
Yes.
look deeper, and that's the whole goal. It has the consistency of like a pumpkin pie or a sweet potato pie. That type.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. We'll get you to try it out.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll let you know.
All right.
Oh,
please
before
do.
I forget, so one of our friends of the show founded a company called More Crunch, Moore Crunch. It's a pretzel company, and they sell a Maryland crab flavored pretzel. And it is so good. And you can buy it online, More Crunch.
I need those in my life.
They're amazing, incredible. So I'll close this out with our last question. If you could go back in time and give your 20-year-old self one piece of advice, affirmation, or pearl of wisdom, what would it be?
I would say you don't have to have all the answers. I used to be very uncomfortable with things I knew and things I didn't know, and really mostly things I didn't know. And I realized over time that it's great to ask questions. It's fine to ask questions, and it's fine to just acknowledge, I don't know that. I've never learned that. I haven't experienced it before. I don't have that expertise. And then you find the information, or you surround yourself with people that do have the expertise, because you can't be expected to know everything in life. And I think that it took me a lot of time and sort of building confidence to get to that place where I'm comfortable with what I know and what I don't know. And part of being a founder has been this intellectual journey of constant learning. And so I've had to get comfortable with the idea that most of this journey, at least when I started, I didn't know. I didn't know how to fundraise. I didn't know how to build a company. And so I've had to ask people for help and for input and get comfortable with that. And so I do think it's important to use that network and ask those questions early on, and just be really confident in what you do know and what skill set you do have.
That is fantastic in every facet of life, I believe. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you, Nina. Now, how can folks get in touch with you? What's the best way for folks to get in touch with you?
So the good news about both Miranda and me is that if you Google my name, I am the only one. So you can easily find me on LinkedIn, or you can email me at my full name at lanyardsdays.com.
All right, and we have the LinkedIn profile is right there. She's the only one, just like Miranda. And there is another Leon Thomas. He's a musician, actually. But Nina Kleaveland, there's her LinkedIn. So love for you to get in touch with her. And Miranda, you were talking about Marcus's pretzels. That's morecrunch.com. Nina, you want to get these pretzels. Trust me.
Excited.
Yes, you get the pretzels before the bean pie. Okay. It's that big. Yes. But not before the crab cake, though. Not before the crab cake.
Okay, that would have been my prioritization anyway, just to be clear, but thank you for specifying.
Good life choices. Nina, thank you so much for joining us. This has been such a great conversation. I'm so glad we got to check in with you.
Thank you for having me. I've really enjoyed it.
All right on. Thanks again. Folks, thanks for watching, checking in. I'm Leon, that's Miranda. We host the show and looking for you to be on the show as well. You can contact Miranda, contact me. We'd love to have you on the show. So, Miranda, another great show. Thank you for introducing our audience and me to Nina.
Oh, I have to give credit, I think, to Rachel Humphrey for introducing me. So
right on. I like it. And folks, we'll be back with another episode of Checking In. We'll be back with more episodes. We're back in the saddle, and look forward to having you watch this show where we tell you about movers and shakers in the hotel business. Thanks for watching, Checking In. Take care, everybody.